Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video, I wanted to touch on something that is keeps coming up. It is a common problem among songwriters, maybe the most common, and not just songwriters actually, any type of art. I would say especially, writing, any kind of writing, books, maybe even movies, and just getting creative ideas. So anything that involves getting a creative idea, especially when it comes to writing a story of some kind of lyrical, anything that has like a lyrical theme, writer's block is a big problem. Okay, so a lot of songwriters experience this. A lot of my students experience this, and that was actually the catalyst for this course, the Melody Experiment. Okay, so. The idea behind it is to have multiple ways of writing a song. So if you're always writing a song in a particular way, the best and fastest way out of writer's block is to try a different technique. Okay, so that's the first thing you got to do. Okay, just try something else. So if you're normally just fumbling around, got a chord progression? Oh, great. But didn't know my heaven. Just off the cuff here. And I don't know, maybe your eyes. And you find yourself stuck. You're like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know where to go. I don't know, I've got this idea. I've been working on it for a while, and I don't know what to do. Okay, so try something different. So that'd be what I call the freestyle technique in the course. And there's two other techniques that we use in the Melody Experiment, two other techniques for melodic ideas. For lyrical ideas, there's a whole bunch. But for melodic ideas, there's three techniques on the course. And that's the freestyle technique, which is that one. Okay, so that's just basically fumbling around. That's why it's called the freestyle technique, right? You just, whatever comes to mind. You don't care about what key you're in, you don't care about whatever. It's only just being in the moment and just allowing your creativity to express itself in whatever way it does, okay? And then we have the inspired writing technique. So that's basically getting a song that you know, a song that you're familiar with, a song that ideally you have a connection with, and getting inspiration from that. We have exact steps to follow for that particular technique. And we have the favorite mistake technique, which is also getting a song that you know, a favorite song of yours. That's why it's called the favorite mistake, but making a mistake, okay? And there's steps for that. So I don't want to get into that here. I've got other videos that cover that. And of course, it's very detailed, covered in a lot of detail on the course, obviously. But I just wanted to touch on the fact here that that's one of the ways to get out of writer's block is to incorporate other songwriting techniques. Because if you stick to the same songwriting technique, and it might work for you like most of the time, and that's great, but when you find yourself stuck, change it up, switch it up, find another technique and try that. That's for melodic ideas. For lyrical ideas, on the course, I think I've got 8 different techniques to tackle this problem of writing lyrics. And the reason I have more techniques for lyrics than I do for melody is because I've struggled with lyrics more than I've struggled with melody over the years. So melody, to be honest with you, I haven't struggled a lot over the years. I mean, they come to me very, very easily, and sometimes I hear them in my head. But lyrics is a different story. Lyrics has been a battle over the years, and I put a lot of emphasis on lyrics, and I put a lot of importance on them, and I want them to be as amazing as possible, especially when I'm writing about something personal. It's gotta be right. And that's why I have more techniques for lyrics than for a melody. Like for you, you might be struggling with melody more than lyrics. So you wanna find, and focus on your weakness, obviously, like with anything. Okay, so, but I found in general, songwriters struggle mostly with lyrics than with melody, especially the musicians. Obviously, lyricists will, that's their strength, right? They write lyrics, and melody is probably something that doesn't come very easily to them. And so maybe they use software. If they don't play an instrument, they'll use software, and they'll use, other musicians and hook up, which is the best way to do it. Just basically co-writing. But for me, it's been lyrics. And let's just take as an example, let's say that, your normal songwriting style is something like this, okay? Like where you hum, or you do na-na-nas, or you like do gibberish, which is my favorite. Okay, you do gibberish over a chord progression that you found. So let's say we have this here. Simple, normal. We're lighting on the way. See the riding on the riding on my way. Just gibberish, whatever. Blowing on the line. Now normally what I would do, I feel you coming on the way, on my mind. Normally what I would do there is just keep doing that until I get something. And just pray that something comes out of that, okay? See you walking down the street. Could be, I read it down. And I don't know just where I seen nothing there, but from gibberish, and this is the beauty of gibberish. I've talked about this a few times before, and it's an amazing way to work out, first of all, to work out melodic ideas, because you're using consonants and you're using vowels, and you're not, humming and na-na-naing. Humming and na-na-naing are okay. You could work out melodic ideas like that. But with gibberish, you're working out the melodic ideas, but you're also working out the phonetics, right? Your consonants and vowels, which you don't get with na-na-nas and humming, right? So you're working out the phonetics and the impact that those consonants and vowels are going to have in your melodic line. But also what you're doing, unknowingly doing, is a stream, what I like to call a stream of consciousness. So this works with lyrics and writing them down, and I've covered this. It's one of the songwriting techniques, the lyrics techniques, where you use a timer and you just write everything down, anything that comes to mind. But the melodic version is this. So it's a subconscious stream of consciousness. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Okay, it's a stream of consciousness where ideas and words and sometimes concepts just pop through. Okay, as you're doing that, it just pops out of you. You're like, whoa, you write it down. Okay, that's the big advantage of using gibberish instead of humming na-na-nas, da-da-das, or whatever. Okay? So let's say we did that, okay? And that's our usual thing, but nothing is happening. We're not getting anywhere with this gibberish, okay? And we're just going round in circles. We're lying on the sea. Nothing's happening. I feel you waiting on the ride and on my way. Nothing's happening. Well, what do? Try a different songwriting technique, okay? A different technique to write lyrics. So, what other technique? Well, I've got 8 of them on the course. A couple of examples is what I just mentioned before, stream of consciousness. So the lyrical version of that is getting a piece of paper and a pen or keyboard, whatever you're more comfortable with, putting a timer, couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes, not more than 5. I found 5 is a bit much, okay? And then the way this technique works is you press the timer. As soon as the timer goes on, you just write down whatever comes to mind. Anything. Anything at all, okay? Doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense at all. Just write down whatever comes through your head. It's just like writing down whatever. I feel great and I don't know why the sun is shining today and the park looks beautiful and I miss my girl and I wish I was somewhere. Whatever comes to mind. Some of it is gonna be a bit weird, okay? Don't worry about it. After a couple of minutes, you'll have about a page of these connected and disconnected ideas that you'd be amazed, okay? Give it a shot. You'd be amazed at what you're gonna put down on paper. Now, it's not all gonna make sense, and that's okay. You can piece things together, you can get inspiration from that, you can freak yourself out a little bit, and believe me, you will, because it's pretty trippy. It's like, wow, where did that come from? But the way to make this thing work is to not think. Just allow yourself to just relax and let whatever comes out come out. Give it a shot. It's pretty amazing. But there's techniques like that. So if I'm stuck with my usual gibberish, bang, I'll use one of them. I'll use another technique where I have different ideas that I collect all over the place. Like, conversations. This is one Bruce Springsteen used to use a lot. He used to walk around with a notepad in his back pocket. Okay, and just write down just interesting observations. Always in writer's mode. Always in writer's mode, okay? Interesting conversations, interesting concepts that he thought of or someone else thought of. Bang, just write them down. And when you're stuck or when you're ready to write some lyrics for a song, you consult that. You look at it, you say, oh, wow, yeah, I remember that building and those two guys, and they had this conversation. Wow, how cool is that? That could be the spark for a new song. It's pretty cool. So using techniques like that is very beneficial when you're stuck, okay? But even when you're not stuck, you could just change up the way that you write songs. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having different approaches to, get to the same, end result. Obviously, in the end of it, we want to write a great song. We want to touch someone. Touch ourselves first, but touch someone. That's the whole point, right? That's what we're doing over here. That's, it's communication. In my opinion, songwriting is communication on another level that transcends this. It transcends words. Because even when you're using words to communicate a song, the lyrics, obviously, it's another level because you got the melody that goes with it. So it's not just, I'm just not saying just words, just dry like that. I'm actually singing them, which communicates the same thing, but on a deeper level. Okay. And that's what makes it so powerful, obviously. So that's my strong suggestion for writer's block. Have the first one, of course, there's two ways to get out of a writer's block. The first one is that, okay, use different songwriting techniques, whether you're stuck melodically, whether you're stuck lyrically, whatever your sticking point is, incorporate new and different songwriting techniques, okay? Now, the second way to get out of writer's block, let's say you're blocked, you got this progression, right, that we had. It's great. I really want to do something with this, okay? But I'm humming and I'm na-na-na-ing. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. I don't like it. It's not happening. It's not working for me. I'm not interested in the melodic idea that I'm coming up with using this chord even though I love this chord progression, nothing's happening for me. So that's a form of writer's block, right? I got my chord progression, but I can't do anything on top of it. The best way to get out of that, aside from using a different songwriting technique that we just covered, is use a different instrument. Okay? So I've got a guitar, right? So with the guitar, I've got this chord progression and it's got this vibe to it. And that's it, okay? And I want to write a song on that and I'm stuck with the guitar. Try another instrument. Try a keyboard or piano. If you don't own one, there's plenty of software that you can use to just plug in those chords into your keyboard, into your software, whatever, and you're gonna have a completely different inspiration coming from the same chord progression. It's a neat little trick. It's pretty awesome and it works every time. Okay, so you can just plug it into another instrument and then try to riff and jam on top of that and see what happens. And I guarantee you're gonna have a different perspective and a different approach to the same chord progression because it's another instrument. It's pretty amazing, okay? And another thing you can do, of course, with the other instrument is maybe change the tempo a little bit, change the rhythm of, because it's not gonna sound like this, okay? You're not gonna do this on a piano. It's not gonna happen. You're not strumming a piano, right? You're not gonna play it like this. It's not gonna sound like this. And this is the reason that it works. It'll be different. And so it's gonna inspire a different approach from you and a different perspective to attack this thing. So instead of, the usual boring na 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 na, not doing anything. Na 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 na. It's just so boring, right? Plug it into the piano and see what happens. And that is a big, big game changer, okay? Just try it. Use the same plug-in, the same chords into a piano, into any software. If you like other instruments, you could have keyboards with all kinds of different sounds and synths and organs and whatever. The best instruments, of course, to write a song, obviously, are guitar and piano. You know, synth-based instruments are amazing. Bass lines are great. A sax is great, a violin is great, but when it comes to writing a song, you need that bed of music. In other words, the harmony, chord progressions, which you can't really do with solo instruments. Okay, so stick to the guitar, stick to the piano. If you don't play either of these instruments, let's say you're a lyricist, that's fine. There's a lot of software online that you can use that can inspire you to actually, you know, come up with melodic ideas. You know, I get it all the time. I get lyricists sending me lyrics on the forums, on Facebook, private messaging, even students of mine. What do you think of this song? Guys, it's not a song. It's not a song until there's some music married with your beautiful lyrics. It's not a song yet. Don't call it a song. It's a poem, maybe. You know, it's the written word, very powerful, amazing. Lyricists are very valuable, by the way. It's a beautiful thing to do, to write lyrics and to be a writer. But if it's gonna be a song, you gotta have some melody in there with it. Okay, so, and you can do that. I mean, one way to do it is to co-write, of course, to hook up with, and that's always my number one suggestion and my number one advice to students and people on the forums and stuff is just hook up. And on the forums, there's all kinds of people on Facebook. Okay, there's forums, there's songwriting groups. I haven't started one yet, just too busy. But there's songwriting groups where you can actually find people. You just say, listen, I need, you know, I'm looking for a guitarist, I'm looking for whatever. And there's always people there looking to collaborate. Okay, but short of that, you can do it yourself. Don't underestimate what you can do, you know, on your own. Even if you don't feel like you're musical, you know, quote unquote musical. I think we're all musical. I think everyone has the potential. But don't underestimate your capacity to write a melodic line for your amazing lyrics, okay? And software these days has come a long way. There's software that you could plug in the chords that you want. There's Easy Keys. I use Easy Keys a lot and I've talked about it a lot, but there's also Chordify. Okay, Chordify is an amazing Musica as well. Is it Musica or I think it's Musica. Okay, another amazing website where you could plug in. There's even instruments, there's drums, basic stuff, right? Basic beats is not something that you're gonna actually record necessarily and release, okay? It's not at that level of, but you can work out ideas. You can work out structure and arrangement for your song and add melody on your lyrics. It's a very powerful thing and there's a lot of software you can use, okay? And that's pretty much the way that I overcome writer's block. I've been using these techniques for years. Initially, I only had one technique, okay? It was what I call the freestyle technique. Pick a chord progression, start humming on top of that, start gibberishing on top of that, and hope for the best. And when I'm stuck, I'm stuck. And I would stay stuck for a while until I got unstuck, okay? You just wait for the writer's block to pass somehow, okay? And eventually it does. But why be stuck? Okay, just incorporate different songwriting techniques, different instruments, and you'll be out of writer's block in no time. Okay? I hope that helps you guys out. And until next time, take care.